real estate school and I run a real estate team. And probably one of the biggest things that I see with agents getting into the business, and even some agents that have been in the business for a while, but the market has shifted and it's not what it has been for the last few years, is this idea of not being in alignment with your goals. So anyone can set a goal. I can say, I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to make 100 grand. I want to save X amount of money. I want to buy a house. But just wanting something doesn't get it, right? We don't get what we want in life. We get what we earn in life. And so if you have a goal and you're not willing to do the work for the goal, then you are out of alignment with the goal. In February, our team's production was really lower than it had been in a long time. And what we realized was that we just weren't doing the work that our goals required. And we needed to change some things and get into alignment with our goals and do what we said that we were going to do. And so our team made a commitment to each other. And really it was about keeping promises to ourselves and learning that whenever you make promises to yourself, big or small, and you don't keep them, you are really building the habit of breaking promises with yourself. It actually erodes your confidence. It erodes your self-confidence and erodes your commitment to that goal. And so we set out together to make a commitment, to recommit to our goals as a group, each individually and also to each other. And then we got to work. I keep hearing this thing lately, the saying, work works, right? And it's hard for me to explain to people, what it takes or what we exactly did, because it's actually kind of boring. It's not like silver bullet that we suddenly did. We did the work that our goals required and we committed to it for a 90-day period, and lo and behold, it works, right? And so the biggest thing I see is that people get into this industry and there's this idea that they can work less than they've ever worked while expecting to earn more than they've ever earned. So at any other job, you'd probably work, if you're working full time, like 40 hours a week. And yet so many people get into this business thinking that they're going to work 20 hours a week or 15 hours a week and like make all this money, like it's just gonna fall from the sky. And that's just not how it works. In this business, you are dealing with people's largest investment. You're either helping them buy, investing their money for the next 30 years or however long, or you're helping them sell their largest asset. And so the idea that you can come in and just be this funsy, post on social media and not know what you're doing and not put the time in to be a true professional, it's just wrong. When you are in a place where you either need to increase production or you're getting into a new career, you have to realize that it's going to take work and it's going to take commitment. Whatever goal you set for yourself, there's something that you need to do in order to get to that goal. And if you're not willing to do it, I think everyone's able to do whatever they put their mind to. But if you're not willing to do that, if it's not in alignment with the lifestyle that you want, then you're going to be miserable because you're going to constantly feel like a failure because you're not ever going to be on track for your goal, and you're going to live in this perpetual state of not being enough, like always being behind the ball. It's going to feel miserable. So a lot of our conversations during this 90-day period when we were really working on getting in alignment with our goals was around integrity. In order for you to have integrity, you have to have a goal that you're in alignment with, and then you have to be willing to get up every day and do what you say you're going to do. I know for me, I in the past used to struggle a lot with my health. And I felt kind of ashamed about it because I had a successful business, and for some reason I could be super motivated with my business and super consistent. But when it came to my health, I would be really inconsistent with it. And I had to realize that in order for me to achieve the goals that I had, which was to be healthy and strong and fit and to feel good in my body, I had to make some changes. I couldn't keep doing these challenges and stints and all these things. I had to change my habits. And sometimes a challenge is a great way to expand and to stretch, and it's a starting point. But if you just go back to the habits that you had before, then you're going to have these spikes. Or, if you use weight loss, it's just such a great analogy. If you use that, you're going to lose the weight, but then you're going to gain it back. And it's this yo-yo effect. And you can have that in your business. We call that the real estate roller coaster. If you want to get off the roller coaster, you have to be consistent. There's a saying, be, do, have. And I think a lot of people have it backwards, where we want to have the things before we'll do the things, and be the kind of person that we need to be to have them. It's the opposite way. You have to be consistent to have consistent income. And consistency is kind of boring, right? Like what we do, it's boring. It's not the sexy thing that they show on TV, on all these real estate shows. If you are struggling with your business to hit your goals and you have watched this far, I would love to sit down with you and see what you're doing that's working and help you figure out where your gaps are and what you need to do to get there. And then from there, it's up to you to do it. I personally think that our environment really impacts us more than we realize. I think if you're in an environment where you're isolated and alone, left to your own thoughts and mindsets, people that are isolated do tend to struggle more than people who are working with a group in an alignment where you're all working towards a common goal, which could be each of your own common goals, but you have this growth mindset in common. And I think that there's something really to be said about being surrounded by the right people who have growth mindsets, who will not just listen to you complain to you and blame the market, blame the external factors that we don't have control over. If the problem is always external, then you have less control over that. If you take agency and responsibility for the changes that you want to make in your life, you will succeed. But you have to be willing to take responsibility and stop blaming external circumstances. And you have to be able to make the changes and get into alignment with your goals and then do the work that those goals require. There's no shortcuts. And a lot of times we spend so much energy complaining about what is, looking for the shortcut and the silver bullets, when all the while the opportunity is right in front of you to do the work and to be consistent and to do the right things each and every day in order to win the day, to win the week, to win the month, to win the quarter, to win the year. So if you're struggling and you want some help, I am offering some strategy sessions right now. Just send me a DM. I'll send you the link to apply. We can get something on the schedule. If you are looking for other opportunities and you have an open mind, maybe this is something you've never considered before. Maybe you are the person that says, I'm independent, I'm the lone wolf, but times are changing, and where you've been and who you've been around has got you this far. And if you want to go to the next level, sometimes that does take a change. But if you're never open-minded to it, it'll never happen. I heard this recently, that if I waited at home for all the lights to be green before I go anywhere, I would never leave my house. So there's never a perfect time, but there's always a conversation that we can start and we can see where it goes. So I hope this was helpful. And if you want to know more about what we are doing to have our best month ever in a market that a lot of agents are struggling in, send me a DM and I'm happy to talk.